So the other day I was searching through my bin of old computer games I used to play as a kid. I found some pretty cool ones like Super Duper Music Looper, Zoo Tycoon, and Backyard Basketball. But then something amazing happened. I reached my hand inside the box and pulled out a game that I had completely forgotten about over the years. It was Lego Racers, developed in 1999 by none other than Lego. Some of you may remember the sequel, Lego Racers 2, but don't judge the original poorly because the sequel sucked. I know there were other versions of the game released on N64 and PlayStation, but today I am reviewing the PC version. Since I grew up with the game, I may be a little biased, but you're just gonna have to deal with that. When you start up the game, it gives you arguably one of the best racing game intros ever. I would like to show you it, but my game kept crashing when I was attempting to get footage of it. So when you get to the main menu, the music immediately causes you to go deaf. Just turn up the volume on this video and you'll see what I mean. The first option you'll see at the main menu is Build. That's because unlike other racing games, you can actually create your car and driver. For the purpose of this review, I decided to show off the most ridiculous looking things you can put on your character and their car. The creation part of this game is very good. It is very easy to navigate through, probably because this game is made for kids. So once I was done creating my character and his car, I had to pick a name for him. Not just any name, a name that would make all other racers bow down before me. A name that brought fear into all opponents. A name that would rule the world of Lego! So I named him Todd. I don't want to sound cocky, but I think I just created the most amazing Lego racer ever. Todd is everything a person could possibly ever need right on his car. He's got 2 parrots to talk to when he's lonely, a buttload of glow-in-the-dark sticks, and pizza! Once I was finished creating Todd, I went to the circuit racing option in the menu, because it is where you get the real progression in the game. Each circuit consists of 4 tracks and a leading racer. There is a total of 7 circuits in the game, so if you're like me, you can probably complete the entire game in a day. Each leading racer in LEGO Racers has a preferred weapon and a cool look. The 7 leading racers you face in order are Captain Redbeard, King Kahuna, Basil the Batlord, Johnny Thunder, Baron Von Baron, Gypsy Moth, and Rocket Racer. Of the 7 leading racers, I do have my favorites and least favorite. My favorite is easily Baron Von Baron. Just something about the hook on his hand shouts awesome. My least favorite leader, without question, is Basil the Batlord. Just look at him. He's trying to look spooky, but he can't since he's made of Legos. Not to mention he is also a complete jerk. If you don't believe me, here are some examples. Here me and Basil are on lap 3. It's a neck-and-neck race, so either one of us could win. Seeing an opening, I try to cut in front of him as he uses his shield. What was that? How was I supposed to know his shield would mess me up? Anyways, Basil ended up winning the race, which really bothered me. Here again in another race, I'm trying to cut him off on the 3rd lap. I know he doesn't have his cheap shield this time, so I go for it. Look, he does it again. How does he do that? Oh well, I still ended up winning the circuit, so suck that, Basil. While racing, I found that all tracks in the game are well themed and face you with different challenges. I do have one complaint with these tracks though, and that some of the shortcuts are way too easy to abuse and way too obvious. I'll give you an example. Here in this desert-themed track, there is a Sphinx shortcut you can go through, which gives you the best weapon in the game and has you skip a good portion of the track. And despite the shortcut being obvious, none of your opponents will go through it. Another example is in the snow track, where there is a snow tunnel shortcut out in the open. This is one of the best shortcuts in the game, so you think your opponents would take it, but nope. They just keep driving past it. There is also an amazing weapon system in the game. Weapons in LEGO Racers are represented by bricks you can pick up on the track. Blue bricks represent shields, red represents projectiles you can throw at the racers ahead of you, yellow represents objects you can throw at the racers behind you, and green are speed boosts. There are also white bricks, which increase the power of the colored bricks. The more white bricks you have, the more powerful your weapon will be. You can hold up to 1 colored brick and 3 white bricks at a time. But if you're smart, there is really only 1 weapon you'll be using. Just attach 3 white bricks to a green brick and you can warp far ahead in the course. This is by far the most cheap weapon, which results in some blowout races. And although I do appreciate the idea of adding a special speed boost in the game, this weapon is just way too easily abused. Just look at this race. You would think I'm in last place due to where I am on the track, but I'm actually lapping the racer in last place. This is all thanks to the warp. Another thing you may want to get used to are the red bricks, which shoot out cannonballs at the racer in front of you. I say this because many racers enjoy shooting these cannons at you over and over and over and over again. As far as the actual racing of this game, it is very good. The controls are simple and balanced. I don't know what it is about racing in LEGO Racers, but it is just simple fun. It brings me back to when I was a kid, and I didn't have any worries other than trying to defeat stupid Bastil the Batlord. There are two main issues I have with the racing in this game though. The first is that the racers you play against are extremely easy to beat. They never use the warp even if they get the chance, and they never take shortcuts. The second issue I have is the drifting. In my mind, a racing game's drift should be nice and smooth like a sports car's drift. Unfortunately, the drift in LEGO Racers is too sharp, making it basically unusable. Once you defeat the first 6 circuits, it's time to have a throwdown with the best LEGO racer, Rocket Racer. But before you race Rocket Racer, you get to see a little video where Rocket Racer walks up to you and your racer looks at him like he's the king of the earth. The best part of this video is the ending where Rocket Racer completely owns you. I'll be waiting for you at the finish line. Anyways, in this race, you soon find out that Rocket Racer is the only smart guy in the entire LEGO universe because he will use the warp boost just about every 5 seconds. I'll be honest and say that it took me about 3 tries to finally beat him and claim my trophy. This was one of the few times in the game where I really felt challenged. But I remember when I was a kid, this game was more than challenging. When I was done completing the circuit mode, I went to the time race mode. This mode is pretty much the same as all other time races in other racing games. You race against a set time, and when you beat it, you see yourself racing on that course. If you beat the set time in every track, you unlock new usable objects in build mode, so at least this option isn't completely useless. The final option on the main menu is the worst and the main downfall of this game, Versus Mode. Versus Mode just has so many poor elements in this game. Here are my main 3 problems with it. Firstly, in order to access Versus Mode, you need to have a controller that can plug into the USB port of your computer. So if you don't have one, tough luck. Looks like you're playing this game solo. Another problem with this multiplayer mode is it is only 1 versus 1. I would have really liked it if it was formatted like the circuits, where there are 5 other racers. So once either you or your friend gets a warp ahead, that's it, and the race just loses its excitement. The final problem I have with this mode is that no more than 2 players can participate. This is just simply terrible because back in 1999, there was no online play. So the only way of playing video games with friends was having them playing right beside you. This mode is the main reason why my friends and I would always resort to playing Mario Party when I was a kid. If this game had a 4-player option, we would have played the crap out of it. But it was just not designed that way. Now time for the final review. I believe that LEGO Racers has the pros of fun gameplay elements, interesting tracks, easy customization, and unique compared to other racing games at the time. LEGO Racers has the cons of unbalanced weapons and a cruddy multiplayer mode. LEGO Racers is a game worth coming back to. It is still really fun even though it was created 14 years ago. This game goes to show that old games can still be fun to play. Putting everything into consideration from its building options to its multiplayer, I give LEGO Racers a 9 out of 10. I hope you guys had fun watching this review. Be sure to check out my other videos. Bye!